Yes.
Wow, we are here. Lane Mitchell is with us, and he's taking a sip of his water.
Hello.
It's been a great week. As you can hear already, we're listening to the new Dayglow album.
Have to be.
So, Dayglow and Coin coming out with new music. And it's almost like a nostalgia thing for me now.
Yeah.
I don't even really like them that much anymore because, we're super mature. We're over the whole indie thing as well. Nobody listens to indie anymore.
I'm over lyrics and music.
It's like, what are y'all yapping?
What are y'all talking about? Just play something.
Would y'all say that out of all the different, I'm really turning this music into the best part of the song, but how do y'all think yapping lands on your favorite slang for the past 2 years? Yapping, because I feel like yapping is definitely it surpasses its actual name. I don't know if that's the word for, I don't know if slang originally was made because of abbreviations, but now I feel like slang, even in and of itself, kind of surpasses short language.
Right.
Well, my question is, what was the creation of yapping? That's always
who said that?
Who coined it?
We wish we had a producer today so we could learn that.
Yeah. Jamie, can you get on that?
Yeah. Gracie, today's producer, is currently at Aldi, prepping, getting ingredients, about to meal prep chicken tikka masala all week. So, I'm not mad that we don't have a producer,
right?
Because I'm about to get some chicken.
You're gonna
tikka
benefit.
Masala.
Yeah.
But I'm actually curious about that. Who? Oh, F me. Be right back. Spilled some coffee on the couch.
Can't do that. That was what color are your couches?
My couch is off-white.
Okay. I was wondering because I also have a white couch.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest fear and the worst part of having a white couch.
Yeah.
Is spilling anything on it.
This feels comfy. This has got to be like a high cotton blend. But it wicked right off.
Oh wow.
Look at that. So pro.
For our listeners, Steven spilled coffee on his white couch, his brand new white couch, and he just cleaned it right off. That was crazy.
But to get back to yapping, I think it's really good. I think it's a really fun term.
Right.
Whenever there's an internet trend like Demure or Brat Summer or TikTok, I don't know, lingo, it seems fake or corporate-y or, planned. I don't know what yapping is for, except for just a new word, so I really do enjoy it.
I don't know if... So the term brain rot, I don't necessarily like the term, but I appreciate that people are conscientious of the fact that the internet is bad for you. And everyone's kind of acknowledging that and being like, this is really not good for us, but we're kind of participating in it anyways.
That's hilarious. Yap is an onomatopoeia for a high-pitched sound of a dog bark.
Oh, yeah.
Yap, yap, yap.
A little
that kind
yappy
of
dog. Like a chihuahua.
And then rappers like Jay-Z and Nas started using it in their songs in the 90s, and now it's just popped back up on TikTok because of Jay-Z and Nas. But that's that honestly I feel like gives a better definition when you think about it, like an annoying dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like yapping isn't annoying necessarily. It can be, but a lot of times it's just chatting it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told a girl a few days ago, I was like, you're just always yapping. And she took offense to that, so I don't know. I think it's either way.
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely could be you're talking for no reason type thing, but also you like to talk. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially in such a quiet society these days. People don't really talk for fun anymore.
Right.
There's always so much pressure on it.
Our episode with the Becker Bros, we probably used that term 100 times.
Yep.
Just yapping. Because that's kind of what it was. We were just talking. We weren't really talking about anything. Most of it was just bits.
Yeah.
3-minute bit about whatever the heck.
It is fun to yap.
It's fun.
What do you think?
It is fun to yap, especially on a fantastic podcast. So glad to be here.
Yeah, Lane, tell us, who are you?
Yeah.
What should our listeners know about you?
Hello, my name is Lane Mitchell.
Yeah, it is.
Friends, I've known these guys for quite some time. Went to Sanford. Here I am.
So okay, let's go back to the origin story. I have no idea what it is, so I'm curious to hear what your answer to this is. When did I meet you, Lane?
Oh. I mean, it must have been freshman year. I don't know.
It definitely was freshman year. I'm just wondering if I even knew you before fraternity recruitment or not. I definitely, because you rolled with like the I'm trying to think of the girl, like the popular kids that you roll, like you roll with the Johns Creek like passion kids when you showed up to Sanford. So
yeah, like Sam Zoldock and Cameron Bowes maybe.
And y'all had a lot of clout immediately when y'all showed up at camp. I'm actually really curious, like, why did y'all? Like, how did y'all do that?
I think in Christian circles, Passion City Church was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Because it was like Christians that cuff their jeans, and it's the biggest church space ever.
Yeah.
And so I think there was a little bit of clout in that. I didn't even go to Passion. It was just like once a month. We would go. We'd all drive 2 hours down to Passion City.
Yeah, just like the short 2-hour commute to the city that you live in.
Yeah. You know what they say? It takes 2 hours to go from Atlanta to Atlanta.
That is what they say. That is what
it
they
is
say.
like kind of insane to me still that like if me and Zion both were like, oh, we have a flight at the ATL airport, we would both leave. Like say we're just getting dropped off, we didn't have to park or anything. He would only leave 45 minutes after me. And he lives in the city. He might even only leave 30 minutes after me.
Right.
And he lives in the same city as like the Atlanta, like his local airport, whereas I live in another
town.
state.
Yeah.
And I would leave, 2 hours before the time I would get there. He would leave an hour and 15 minutes before.
He's far away.
He is like very far away. The only place you could really be further away is if what's that other? Is it called Sewanee? The suburb that's on the northeast part of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you lived in like that part of Atlanta, I feel like that might be the furthest because you're in like the opposite end. But yeah, he lives down in the freaking country.
Yeah, I mean, I love Valor Coffee. I grew up in Alpharetta.
Yeah, you
Creek
did.
Area. It is always still so funny because I just think of Alpharetta still as like the suburbs.
Yeah,
and so I think Alpharetta is now cool.
Sure.
But it's like, wow, you guys live here. You guys don't have like 4 kids and 2 dogs and
yeah,
and $4 million annual salary and stuff like that. That's the
helps.
typical demographic up there.
Mm-hmm.
So did you grow up, like when you were growing up, because I know you didn't you went to, what's the name of the high school that all y'all went to?
Providence.
That's right.
Wow.
Go Knights?
It was Go Storm.
Storm.
We used to be Stars, and they're like, we got to do a rebrand. And then they went to Storm. Equally as bad.
Right.
I definitely think that Atlanta, one of their professional sports teams' mascots should be Traffic. I think the Atlanta Traffic should be the name of, like, because it is truly a power unlike any other, the Atlanta Traffic. I think that I thought about that the first time whenever East Pole named their like flagship like coffee blend, the Traffic blend. It's like, oh, that's fun. I've never thought about Traffic in like it is a being in and of itself until they marketed it that way.
We're getting real quick to city talk.
So we are.
We had to.
On.
Yeah.
But okay, so you grew up in? Did you grow up in Alpharetta or in Johns Creek?
We'll say Johns Creek.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the difference between those areas? Because I feel like whenever I drive through there, I never know when I'm in Johns Creek, Roswell, Alpharetta, Milton. Well, actually, you know when you're in Milton because all the houses look like barns.
Yeah.
But anything else, I don't really know.
It's pretty seamless. It's the same sprawl, same Strodes, just nonsense.
Yeah, like same paint, different color.
Boom.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the way the saying goes or not.
I don't think so, but you just made it one.
Also, for people that don't have any idea what the frick we're talking about northern Atlanta. There's a highway called 400. And 400 takes you all the way up to the North Georgia mountains. But on the way, you have like all these suburbs that all these, I don't know. I feel like it produces like very similar, like a batch of very similar people too.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just like a bunch of kids that I've met from there that are, like I said, like, I mean, you and Sully are very different now. But like when y'all showed up to Sanford, I met y'all like freshman year. Y'all are pretty dang similar. You know what I mean?
Super preppy. He was like a baseball guy. I was like a granola hiker, frat star.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, you're
prep test
practicing the duality of man. Truly,
of course, yes.
Okay, so we met freshman year in college. When did you meet Myers? I'm curious this answer.
Probably
After college. Well, I mean, I guess, are we all friends in college at all?
it's different circle.
So my first memory is, and I don't know where we were going, but I knew Jack, and I was hanging out with him, and then I feel like maybe Blake was there or someone like that. And this is when y'all lived in the Oaks together.
Yeah.
And I remember going to like a cookout or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're in the front seat, in the passenger seat, and I'm in the back. And I mentioned something about either cars or like thrifted clothes or something. And you were like, wait, Myers, when did you become so cool?
It's pretty smooth.
And I was like, I mean, I've always liked cars, so if that's your definition of cool, then I guess I've always been cool. But
Since birth.
yeah, but then like old clothes, I kind of got into like, I don't know, probably in college, like everybody else at Sanford seems to do. And that was the first time I remember knowing who you were because you were an older pie cap, but and seeing you wear like cool clothes and being like, well, that guy seems
they
cool
say.
And he's older than me.
Older pie caps. Cool guys.
Right. That's what it equates to.
Oh, man. Dude, it was so
That's
interesting.
hilarious.
This past week, working college ministry, I spent a lot of time with college students who are still in school at Sanford. And I had to relive Rush yet again. I hate Rush. I hate Greek life. I wish I would have never done it. Honestly, Independence had a great time. Right. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah. And Independence were pretty cool dudes, too, so I don't really understand it. I also just don't really... One thing, but this is what I'm asking. The one thing that I'm really curious about now is, like, why did Sanford get Greek life? Like, why were they like, that's a good idea? You know what I mean? It has to be like a pretty wild thing to be like the first guy who started Greek life.
So my real take on this is I think back in the day, I don't have any facts to, back this up. But
you don't remember your pie cap history?
No, I did not.
Steven, where's your white diamond?
Yeah.
Oh, man. The
trash. Blue diamond.
I got my tattoo removed. It used to be right here. No, but I think Sanford, I bet they wanted more guys and they wanted more girls. And so it's like, like Greek life is really cool. Yeah, it's a dry campus. Like, that's kind of why we got a football team, too. It's like
something to do.
Yeah.
Well, they meant weren't fraternities supposed to be like gentlemen's like clubs, not in like an inappropriate way, but like
I feel like across American history, exclusivity clubs have kind of like slowly been dying the whole time, and like starting with essentially different. It's like these acceptable prejudices towards people that aren't like you have just like slowly died over time.
But I wonder because social clubs are still a thing.
Like where? Like I mean, they are amongst like.
But they're like.
Well, give me an
like
example. I guess
themed.
Before
like the whole car club thing I've talked about doing. Like that's not meant to discriminate against anyone. It's just like
that's not exclusive though. You could sign up for that.
Right. Anyone could do it. You just pay the money.
Yeah.
Those still exist. Like there are famous social clubs in LA.
Yeah.
But I feel like those you have to be like famous and invited or something.
I feel like that scratches a different itch because they just want privacy. Like, you know what I mean? Like they want to still go to socials and like have friends and hang out at parties and stuff where they just want to pay for access to do that without having people be annoying. But it's weird that it's like if you were to, I don't know, we can talk about this the whole time. I literally talked to a student this past week that was like, they're part of a Greek organization. This was, I'm going to keep this super vague. I'm not going to say whether it was a guy or a girl. Someone part of a Greek organization said that there is a mold that their organization abides by and that serves as a blessing in many ways when they go through voting. Because when the potential new member comes up on the screen, if they think they would have just as much fun in another fraternity, but they don't fit their mold, then they just like
chuck them.
Yeah, they just keep going.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying
it's
to
like,
think of
wait,
what...
so you just want to surround yourself with people that are just exactly the same?
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't really seem very smart.
I'm trying to think of like if there's a good aspect to them.
It's not a good idea. It's the classic, like, is this guy Sigma Chi quality or Pi Cap quality? Do you think he would be a good Pi Cap da-da-da? It's like, it's very silly.
Yeah. It is funny, especially like when you think about like whenever I was doing it, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it either. Like that's another weird thing that I think about too.
I actually hated it.
When you were going through Rush, even?
Maybe not when Rush, but as soon as Pledgeship started, I was like, why did all these guys who were really nice to me last week just start like yelling at me and treating me like I'm not a human?
Allegedly, yeah.
Dude, yeah. I hope some freshmen like Greek life people listen to this somehow.
Well, Rush has already happened.
Rush
has already happened.
No, but we would give away all the Pledgeship.
That would be hilarious.
Honestly, if we started yapping right now, there we go.
This is a 7-year-old conversation.
Yeah,
we're literally talking about the good old days of college.
Let's not.
Why did we start talking about this?
Anymore.
Oh yeah, we were all in the same fraternity.
How we got to know each other. Yeah.
Anyways,
what do you have a first memory of meeting me?
No, but I remember we went to Collins Bar.
Yes,
was like,
that was like.
Was that in college?
I mean, I was 21 at that point, so that was like 3 years ago. That was
like 700 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
drinks.
pouring rain outside. It was like monsoon, like no one was in there, and it was just us.
Honestly, not a great parking sitch for a pouring rain afternoon. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
But maybe it would be because nobody would be there. Like you said.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody there. That was fun. I don't remember what we talked about, but I remember that.
Yeah, we were in that back hallway, and I was like, this guy's super rad, and we talked about Porsches a while.
Yeah.
A lot.
We tend to do that.
Oh, okay. Let's do nope. Today's generic segment of quick fire rankings.
Ooh.
Gosh. All right, there we go. Sorry, I just accidentally pressed 2 buttons there at the end. All right, so this is what's going to happen, Lane. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. You as well, Myers. And I'm going to say best fill in the blank, and you have 2 seconds to respond. Only Birmingham places, okay?
Oh.
All right, you ready?
Is it? Do you pick one of us and then?
No, you. I'm gonna go best coffee shop, Lane, Myers, boom, 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 and we're just gonna go through different establishments. You think? Okay, cool. All right, you ready? All right. Best coffee shop besides June, Lane.
Daily Edition.
Okay, best restaurant besides Helen, Lane. Automatic.
Zaza.
Okay, best bar besides Golden Age, Lane. 2 seconds.
Queen's Park.
Okay.
How's fun out there?
Queen's Park doesn't exist anymore. Go again. Pilcrow. Okay, I went there for the first time last week. It was good. Okay, let's think of another one. Best grocery store besides Trader Joe's and location.
Downtown Publix.
Downtown Publix. Hot take. Okay. Mars doesn't shop anywhere besides Trader Joe's.
Publix, the one on Montclair.
That's a good one. Actually, that might be my favorite.
That's right.
Let's see. Best store at the Summit. Go. Besides REI.
I don't know any stores.
Peter Millar.
Okay.
Vineyard Vines.
Dude, you're killing the two.
Brombergs.
Okay, diamonds. I love it. Let's see. Best neighborhood to live in besides Crestwood. Okay. That's a good answer. That's pretty much like that's the same thing.
I was gonna say like Highland Park.
Okay. I was thinking the other day. Okay, all right, we're done. Thank you so much for today's quick fire ranking segment. I actually really like that. I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Yeah,
I was thinking about this the other day. I'm trying to get us into city segment, if you know, if you pick up on what I'm doing. But I feel like I've been thinking about where could you even do a Cafe Elliott ever since we had our conversation yesterday at East Bowl, where we were just like, a lot of the coffee shops in Birmingham seem a little stale, whatever. And I was I was thinking, like, where could you even do something that was so neighborhood vibes, but people would still want to drive into it? And Highland Park came to mind.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if there was a cool, like, cafe, like if O. Henry's was actually like a cool run cafe, I would go there like all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's like a park and stuff. I think it'd be really sick. And then you think about, because whenever right after we had that conversation, I went in to use the restroom. Faraway Theater had a poster on it, and I was just like, dang, like Gladys and what they're doing with Faraway Theater, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, Gladys is an improv group that has like they started their own like tiny theater. Gracie's here with the groceries. But Faraway Theater is this tiny little theater in Highland Park downstairs in this like random building. And it's so freaking cool because they do what they love and they hand built everything. It's like really awesome. So I was thinking about that too. And I was like, they're kind of doing the thing that we were talking about. So anyways, I think Highland Park would be a sick area to do it in. Forest Park.
Love Highland Park.
Forest Park's impossible. I think Crestwood, if you do it beside the, what's that area? What's that restaurant up there called? The pizza place? The filling station. That mall is too strip mall-y for me. Yeah. So then you think about, like, where could you do it at? Anyways, Highland Park seemed really awesome to me. That's my only point.
Yeah, I think Highland Park's really slept on.
The only O. Henry's I would ever go to voluntarily is that one, just because I like that area so much.
Yeah.
Rojo is obviously so incredible, but it's also so good because there's nothing else that's that good in that area. Yeah. And I know they're making a steakhouse. The guy from Slim's? Wait, no. What's the really good like cocktail bar and pizza place in Mountain Brook?
You're talking about Slim's?
Yeah. Or is the patio or the porch? The porch?
Yeah, it's the same one.
We're going there tonight.
The porch?
Slim's for Clark's birthday.
Oh, that's not cool, man. That's awesome, though. That's awesome for you.
Thanks. Yeah.
You think you can make that reservation for by chance?
I could see what Claire thinks.
Okay.
I will say I'll change my answer to whatever I said. Oh, Queen's Park. I think the garage is just incredible.
Yeah.
If you're searching for authentic, old school bar feel, and then you also have a really good outdoor patio. Yeah. It's just nice. It's a good third place.
Oh, there we go.
Hello, third place.
Third place counter one.
Ding. I actually did a counter for one of our podcasts like a long time ago, but it's kind of a lot of effort. Yeah. So I have to consciously think about what are the chapters or the segments that we're going through, and then also when am I going to go back and add these individual numbers, and it's just too much for my editing brain.
When you do that, how do you I imagine it's a pretty easy thing. Like how do you put the chapters in?
So I edit the podcast, which just means I add the intro part and then the secret segment and then the end part, and then I export it and then I upload it to YouTube privately, and then I listen through it all the way, and then I just minute mark where it seems like we talk about a certain thing.
Interesting.
And then you just put the number before and then however you want to name the chapter, and then you put it in the description and it automatically adds to the video.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool. I thought that you had to go in and mark it pre.
No. And it took me a second to figure it out because I did that the first time, but I did it wrong somehow. You have to add 0:00 at the beginning, and then the rest after that it doesn't. It's like code.
Does it do that on Spotify too? Do our chapters show up on Spotify?
I don't really know. I put it in the description on Spotify anyways, just for reference, but I can't remember if it shows up like that or not.
Interesting. Also, someone asked me this morning, and I don't know. What is our demographics for this for listeners, like girls to guys? All that kind of stuff.
I haven't checked in a long time, but it used to be 55 guys, 45 girls.
Wow. The girls are freaking showing out. Let's go.
Yeah, but I haven't checked in a while.
Huh. What about cities and where are they listening from?
It was 99% USA. I don't know if you can
shout out our 1% UK listener.
Yeah, the 1%, which is just someone's VPN for sure, is showing up somewhere else.
It's probably mine.
Yeah.
Ireland 1%, that's me. But for whatever reason, NordVPN always puts me in Dublin. Don't ask why.
You use NordVPN?
Sometimes. I don't remember why I needed it a while back, but I did. mission trip. I think Cuba mission trip. Yeah. Because their Cuba stuff is super weird, but
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't checked a lot of that stuff in a while.
Did it say like cities at all? Or
It probably does, but
okay. Anyways, thought that'd be kind of fun for our listeners to know.
Yeah.
Back to the city talk. What's a third space, Lane?
So, a lot of people ask me this.
Many
First
people.
place is work, or no, maybe probably first place is home.
Yeah, I think
Second place is work. Third place is this other community gathering center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say right now, because of suburbia and car-centric communities, it's hard to find good third places.
Yeah, just in general.
And especially, it's hard to find. I don't know. What would you say? What are your third places?
You know, I think a lot for me. My second place and my third place merge because I work at a church, and like you think like historically, the church was the first ever third place. Like it was the first ever like community building. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of ways, I feel like it does serve that, but also you don't have to go to church for more than 2 seconds to realize that church nowadays is not like it was intended for it to be. And it's very, very isolated. The events are very isolated. There's no place, you can't just like go hang out at a building. So I think besides that, my third place would, man, I feel like that's tough. Like just for Gracie and I, like we know the baristas at June like really well. So I love going to June. I run into the most people I know at Seeds.
Yeah.
Besides that, like I don't really know if I'm going. Like I know the Zaza people well too, so that's almost like a third space for me.
Yeah.
I could just go in there and get like only dessert without feeling bad or something like that.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's the issue, is that coffee shops are really good third places because it's a lot of, coffee's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Drip coffee, $3.50, pretty easy.
Yeah.
But
50 cents above the Amex.
yeah,
Like
great.
thing.
Yeah.
We have a bit that inflation, yada yada crap has led Amex to anything below $3. It just like doesn't even show up on your bank statement. It's
You don't
just
need to
like,
worry
they just
about
dismiss
it.
it's just
it.
like $3
You're like-
doesn't even matter anymore. It's like a penny. You like don't even lean over and pick it up, kind of
Right.
thing.
But yeah, that's the issue, is that like cafes close at 3 p.m. So the after work spot,
Yeah.
where are you going?
Oh yeah. Like after work, dude, we probably go to Starbucks in the afternoon in Mountain Brook the most. But if we do go somewhere to get drinks, like I don't even know. Like I don't know if we go somewhere regularly enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I literally don't even know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for us, we go to Little Professor a good bit.
That's pretty good.
Is that after work?
Sometimes,
Wait,
Not
how
really,
late do they stay open?
like 6.
Oh, yes. Gracie got pumpkin spice instant oatmeal. Show it to the camera.
Whoa.
Oh baby,
That sounds amazing. It's
That's
so
good.
October
Maybe
here.
not-
Even though it's
I mean,
September.
we're not going to a third place every day,
Yeah.
but like on a Friday afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon, on
Mhm.
a Sunday afternoon,
Yeah.
like Little Professor is a very regular place for us.
One thing that I'm super fascinated by, Lane, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, because you literally live in the center of Birmingham.
Yeah.
You live like across from the like railroad park. What?
Yeah. That's
And-
funny.
But you
Get doxxed.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You just told me you told people where I live.
I say okay. Well, I guess my next point will probably make that a little less vague. There's like 1 million people, not 1 million people, but there's probably legitimately within
Yeah.
4 square blocks of where you live.
Yeah.
There's probably legitimately, I don't know, something
10
thousand,
apartment
10,000
Yeah.
people. Is that dumb? Like, I don't know how many people live right there.
don't
Thousands of people live
Yeah.
in that one, in whatever you call the vicinity of Railroad Park and
Right.
the baseball field. Like,
Yeah.
so many people live right there, like thousands of people.
Yeah.
And then if you include UAB, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable. I'd say 10 to 15,000 people
Yeah.
live within a 30-minute walking vicinity. of Railroad Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're one of those people.
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, if you can figure out where he lives, that's props to you, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, you live in the middle of it, and the craziest thing is if you passed Hero, which is on literally on the park, like it is across the street. If you pass Hero at 7:00 on any night, it is empty, and they're open for dinner.
Yeah.
They're
now open. Yeah, till 8.
And if you were to go to Monday Night Brewery, also right there.
Yeah.
Not the most packed place ever. I'm trying to think of anything else that's right there.
Yeah.
Red Cat.
It's pretty slow.
The Finnick is super popular. I'll say that.
Yeah. I've never been.
Oh, have you been to Current yet?
I have not.
Oh, that place is unbelievable.
Really good.
It sounds fancy name.
I almost said Current, but I don't know if is that like the next best behind Helen? I don't know.
Helen's
it's in the conversation for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's up there. I just need to go there more than
honestly.
once.
Chez Fonfon, I feel like is like
I haven't been there yet.
Their steak fritz is like kind of unbelievable.
Ooh, I've never been.
What did
so
you say?
good.
The next best behind Helen was?
Yeah. What did you say? You said I
said Zaza.
Zaza.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I said automatic.
Automatic,
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Current's pretty much just automatic. Just
Yeah.
Asian food, which I like Asian food more than seafood, so that's why it's just goated for me. Do you like seafood?
I love seafood. I had salmon today.
Okay.
Salmon yesterday. Somewhat seafood.
Yeah, this guy's definitely carb counting. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I did have potatoes and broccoli and salmon today. Felt like a baller.
That actually sounds amazing. That meal is kind of like perfect to me.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about, since we're on this subject, I've been thinking about this a lot this week too. What do y'all think about cold plunging? Like, is it past being cringe now? Or is it still cringe or not cringe? Today, let's go. Today's cringe or not cringe segment is going to be surrounding health things, like healthcare, keeping care of your body. Let's talk. Cringe or not cringe, cold plunging.
I think it's pretty cringe, especially if you make it your whole personality.
Okay.
If you're just doing it for health, it's probably good. I don't do it. I don't do cold showers either. So.
Have you ever done it before? Like a cold plunge?
I've done like a polar bear plunge.
Like in like a cold lake?
Yeah. We'll jump into cold lake from time to time in Colorado.
Colorado.
I've never seen it done in a not cringe way.
Yeah.
Producer Gracie, not polar plunge, cold plunging, cringe or not cringe? Gracie says cringe for sure. Okay. Protein shakes. That's actually a really freaking good one. Protein shake. Smoothies too is what she says.
Well, smoothies, no.
Smoothies
Those
is
are
not
fantastic.
cringe to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good. Yeah.
I think that protein shakes, completely depending on how you hold your shaker bottle, will be completely, because I've never had protein shakes. I don't even see them. I actually did. I used to have them in high school and they didn't help me at all. I thought they were really dumb. And like the fact that guys have like the shaker bottles in general was super cringe to me. And then I saw some dudes that I like respect start rocking them, and I was like, okay, cool, like healthcare, rock and roll.
I've got my take.
But if you're straight up out in public shaking that crap all the time, I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought. I'll be open book, right?
Yeah.
Do you have your take, Lane?
It's kind of the same thing as my cold plunge take. It's like if it's your whole personality and you're making it all about you and how you're so healthy and yoked or anything.
Yeah.
If you're like the guys that we talked to yesterday.
Golly,
Dude,
then
holy
that was
cow.
insane.
Yeah.
That was a nuts experience. I told Gracie about it.
Good.
There was like these two, just like the biggest gym bro figures I've interacted with maybe in my whole life.
I've also
with yesterday.
I don't know if I've ever seen whiter skin than that ginger guy. His legs were like pasty white.
Yeah.
Like your
That's
socks
pretty
white.
funny. Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I definitely noticed he was a ginger. He was a yoked guy. Both
They
of
were
them were
both
yoked.
very like they probably do.
They literally
creatine.
had like personal trainer T-shirts on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they were going. I guess they worked at a gym. They were going to pass out maybe coupons. They were looking for leasing offices.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know what they were doing. But anyways, they interacted with us because they were looking for the leasing office. We knew where the leasing office was. And they just were not real.
Yeah.
They were talking as if.
They said the F word a lot.
They did.
And they were talking like they were TikTok gym bros or something. I don't know. I don't even know.
Like, not, like, you know, cursing, everyone has their own ethic on it. I feel like necessity is kind of like something that a lot of people agree on. And, like, if you're going to cuss, if it's not necessary, a pretty agreed on term is, like, that's, like, kind of a quality it needs to have. So it needs to be necessary in order for someone to say it. And it was just completely unnecessary whenever they were speaking. Like, they were literally like, they were like, hey, where's the effing leasing office? And I was like, oh, it's over there. And he was just like, oh, this guy F's.
Yeah.
He's effing messing with me. F.
Yeah.
And we were just like
middle school.
Yeah.
I just learned the F word. Let me throw it out here.
Yeah, or he's like not allowed to cuss at home. And then he like just left the house.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm effing doing it now. Gracie just sneezed. Have you heard that off in the distance? Probably
Bless
did.
you.
My take on protein shakes is it's cringe if you drink it out of the shaker bottle.
Okay.
But it's not cringe if you pour it into like a glass and drink it like a normal drink, like a smoothie or something.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take.
That's a good take.
Yeah.
Because if you're like pop the lid and then like just chug it out of there,
Yeah.
it's kind of a tough look.
Yeah. It's
But
also
if you just pour it out into like a glass and drink it with a straw, it's just a drink.
Why do people drink protein shakes? I genuinely don't know. Like that I'm trying to learn right now.
When you're lifting weights, you're trying to build muscle, and part of helping muscle recovery and growth is ingesting protein like within a short period of time after breaking down the muscle to help build back the muscle.
Yeah.
So you want to drink a protein shake like basically right after you finish lifting weights.
Speaking of healthcare, I have a little bit of and the gym bro thing. I have a story this week that's I don't know. I genuinely don't even know who this person is. So I don't know if this is wrong or not to be talking about them. I'm going to say the story and I would love to hear y'all's thoughts.
It's just a story. It's a fictional story.
But this girl that is in this workout class that I was in, I do like HIIT interval training gym thing.
X4.
And X4. And honestly, it's like it is the most intense like workout environment I've ever been in, but it's awesome because it's like really short. It rips you apart, and then you like kind of don't really have to work out again like all day, and or you only have to do it like a few times a week to really keep your body healthy. Anyways, there's these like I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without explaining the whole thing. But there's this girl that was in there, and like we had these different segments. There's these 4 stations. Whenever you're at a station, you have stations within your station, and one of it is like you're on the bike and you're cruising, and which cruises like a moderate pace. But like you're still like, I mean, the music is blaring. You're still like in the zone when you're doing it. You're supposed to be super tired from your working in the other ways. So then when you get on the bike and cruise, you're supposed to like be like destroyed essentially. That's like the vibe of the workout. But anyways, this girl on the bike, I looked up and she was like on her phone, like texting. And like, I don't know how to explain that other than like that is super weird in this environment.
Yeah.
To be like everyone is just like,
yeah, and you have
and then like in the background it's like, and it's like
a Avicii
super
loud
loud
background.
Literally like I don't even know how to impersonate like a EDM like Avicii song nowadays, but like literally like it's the loudest environment ever. And I just like looked up and this girl was just like I don't even know how to explain it. She's just like a girl on like a very chill, sweatless girl like playing on her phone, and I was just like, that is so odd. And then like she did it several times throughout the workout. Like no one even brings their phone from the lockers, and she like several times at all the different other stations, she kept like getting on her phone and like texting during breaks that you're not supposed to take. And no hate, like everybody has to work out in their own way. But it seems like odd that she was like getting on her phone, and then anyways after the class, she made a comment about Daily Edition, which is the coffee shop across the street, because if you park over there and you're not going there, then Daily Edition tows your car because they only have like 4 parking spots.
Yeah, not very many.
And they do it because of like the construction people that are over there, because they're building that huge like neighborhood over there now. But they also tow anyone who parks there because they need their spots. And she was like, she said something along the lines of, well, that's not our problem that we're parking there. And but she also like was, like I said, wildly out of touch is kind of my like perception of her, because she was like just texting at a 6 a.m. workout class. And then at the very end, she was just like, I just thought it was super interesting.
That is
Anyways,
strange.
Wait, so for the workout, is she actually participating in the workout and she's so good that she's not sweating, or is she not participating?
I don't think she was not participating.
Oh, okay.
Also, there's a coach there.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, push 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
Yeah.
Okay, rest. 30
whack.
seconds.
Yeah.
We're moving stations. Like
Yeah,
someone
literally think
yelling
like,
at you
like
the
a
whole
military workout is
Yeah.
kind of the vibe.
Jeez.
It's super.
And so for like loud music and a coach yelling at you to like encourage you and push you, and she's just on her phone. That's like really strange.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, now that I say this, I feel like it definitely is just gossip, so I kind of feel bad right now. I just thought it was super interesting at the very end of it. She made a comment about like it wasn't her problem that she made a towing. Like, I don't know why I thought about that. What were we talking about right before that?
We were talking about
it's cringe depending on how you cringe or not cringe depending on how you do it. So
Yeah.
anyways,
cringe or not cringe CrossFit.
yeah, that was gonna be my next one. I feel like this is also completely dependent on how you're doing it. I have I have rarely seen someone get into CrossFit without it becoming a core, like a Mount Rushmore of their life. Like Mount Rushmore
It's
face
like
of their
the
life.
thing they do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Similar to veganism, it's like it's probably pretty great, but if it's the only thing you talk about,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did CrossFit for like a month one time, and there were a couple people I met who I thought were like really awesome people. Like there's this doctor at our church who's just super kind, and I chatted with him a little bit. He was like, your wife comes here, blah, 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 and we go to church, and I've run into him in public later on, and he's super, super kind.
Yeah.
And he's very, very fit because he does CrossFit every day.
Yeah.
But it's not like a part of who he like how he defines himself. And similarly with what's the guy named Ben? I forgot his last name.
Pody.
Maybe, yeah. He's part of the welcome team at church.
Yeah.
Him also like does CrossFit, very fit,
Super kind.
but super kind, and like doesn't seem like he's trying to shove CrossFit down your throat. So like I've met several people like that who I think it's not cringe at all that they do that. It's just like a fitness thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then also, again, you make it your whole personality, then it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, it's like cycling. It's like if that's your whole thing, you're only talking about cycling, probably not ideal.
Sure.
And I love cycling.
So that's our conclusion with cringe or not cringe is it's only cringe if you make it your whole personality.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
We got it.
Yep. Yeah.
Tell us about cycling, Lane.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bad at it. I've only been into it for like 6 months. My favorite type of cycling is just getting from one part of the city to the other. Because I think walking around downtown Birmingham isn't ideal, but by bike you can kind of take over the world.
Fair.
And so riding here was so nice.
Yeah.
Super
Especially
fun.
on an e-bike, it probably didn't take you that long at all.
It was easy.
Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes.
Did
Is
you
it
take
a
the rotary
3 mile?
Huh?
3 miles?
I'll
No,
say
it's
it, yeah.
8 from here. Oh, it's 8 there and back from here to East
4?
Bowl. So I guess it's 4 from 4-ish. Not trying to vox you again.
Docs.
Sorry, docs. I'm trying to.
No,
Do you
it's okay.
remember when we did the Zion Guns episode with the whole band and Sully said their address.
That's perfect.
Do you remember
I
that?
do, yeah.
That, and they said
at the very
doxed.
end of the Zion thing, I was just like, yeah, you can text Zion at. And he was
Yeah.
like, nope.
Yeah.
So good.
Same joke. Yeah, we did make that bit a few times.
Zongle.
Yeah. Zoing going. Yeah. It was so funny. I literally interacted with a person new to Birmingham the other day, and obviously I feel like it's weird. Zion hasn't lived here in like forever,
Right.
but he's still like a Birmingham thing. Like
Yeah.
he still got put on Judah and the Lions, like Birmingham. Like even though now he moved to Cincinnati in like 6 days. That's crazy.
Dang.
Actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's moving on Sally and Peacock's birthday. So shout out Sally. That's crazy. His birthday's
Chloe-
tomorrow, or no? His birthday's Monday. Your wife's birthday's Monday, and then Sally's birthday's Thursday.
His birthday's tomorrow. His is the 15th.
Oh, okay,
Claire's
gotcha.
is the 16th.
It's on the day of his birthday.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying his birthday's on the same day as Claire's the other day.
No, it's the day before. So then
Wow.
for the last like 2 years, I haven't been able to do Zion's birthday thing because it's the same time as my
Yeah.
wife's birthday.
Now it's going to be at Cafe Elliott next year. They're still going to invite us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of moving, do you think you'll ever move away from Birmingham?
From the dirty South.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Gracie and I talk about this a lot. I love Birmingham. Like I like. There's just everywhere I go in the world, I always tell people Birmingham is an amazing place to live. Maybe wouldn't be that fun to travel to.
Yeah.
Like, but it would be really fun. Like if you have friends here, and you have like a weekend, you could eat like some of the best food ever and get like great coffee and go to different places for like 3 straight days.
Yeah.
Possibly 6 straight days, maybe. But like after that, you're kind of just gonna go back to the same places every single time. So anyways, I feel like for Gracie and I have no idea. We love Birmingham. We also really love just like the core value of like longevity and consistency too. So I think there's a lot of beauty that comes with longevity and consistency. Just like at our core, we believe that. So I feel like that affects this conversation a lot for us too. But I mean, we have like amazing friends in Denver. So we would like love to move to Denver. Not because like I'd never been to Denver. I never wanted to go to Denver until they moved out there.
Yeah.
But I just like love those people so much. But if we say no people, no relationships, no like everything off the board, like we'd move to New York tomorrow. We'd move to London tomorrow. Copenhagen. Like we'd move to any major. Actually, I don't know. I'd probably say like London and New York would be like tied for first because I think I would love to live in like a humongous city.
Yeah.
With like a unbelievable amount of things going on.
Yeah.
Just for a little bit. Like just be like a cog in the machine. I think that'd be fun. Anyways, yeah, that's my thought. What about you?
We've moved a few times.
A few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You moved kind of for a year straight.
Yeah.
You constantly moved.
One of the
on the go.
One of the cooler things Lane maybe has ever done is
I agree.
live out of a RV with his wife for 12
They
months?
actually did the van life thing.
They did.
People talk about doing the van life thing all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, y'all actually did it. That's crazy to me still.
Well, you said that to Paxton, my wife, and I think you guys were chatting a while back, and you're like, congrats, you actually did what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
Because I talked about it all the time in college.
Uh-huh.
And
And a lot of people did. Like,
a lot of people
how much did Ross
So
talk
many
about
people.
van life in college? Like,
was
almost
a
every
good
time
bit.
he saw you. Yeah.
That was always the funny part is like a lot of people were chatting about like, oh, like I want to buy a van, like, oh, I want to buy an RV. But it is so much of it's such a huge leap to actually get into
Uh-huh.
a vehicle that moves and to figure out your mailing address and understand Starlink and just Zoom backgrounds to make sure your company at the time doesn't know you live in an RV. And so it's just really, really funny.
Yeah.
And so when people ask me like, hey, like, do you recommend it to people? I'm like, if you have to do it, then you should do it. Similar to New York. It's like my brother, he really wanted to move to New York. and it felt like he had to. Like, this is like my one time.
Yeah.
I got to hit it. And yeah, if you have to do it, then you got to do it.
One thing that's wild to me about New York is like, it's hard. It's not hard to get a cheap apartment. It's hard to just get an apartment.
Yeah.
Like that's like one of the craziest things to me is like, if you're not from New York, or if you don't have a New York driver's license, I don't know if I didn't know this till not that long ago. So maybe people don't know this, but if you don't have a New York residency to your name, like a lot of apartment complexes, because they hate how, like they hate the fact that locals can't get apartments. They won't even look at your thing. So sometimes you have to pay. You remember what they're called? I don't remember what they're called. Like,
I was gonna say they're like apartment brokers.
Yeah, you have to pay an apartment broker who has a New York resident, and then they will like apply for you.
Yeah.
Like underneath their name, and they'll take the apartment out in their name so you can get access to apartments, which is nuts to me. Like, it's absolutely, so to your point, very different from like you have to get a PO box or figure out where your mail is going to be sent or whatever with van life. But in New York, it's like a super great idea. And you actually try to do it, and there's like a million things that go wrong. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like visiting New York is like, it's so easy.
Yeah.
You just, it's $40 to fly into New York right now. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
You don't need to rent a car. You just find the places that you want to go to. There's so many museums.
Yeah.
It's one of the easiest things to do while visiting a new city. It's just like hit those pretty hard. But moving, I remember my brother, he was like, yeah, I tried to go to the Park Slope area because that's stunning in Brooklyn. And then he just could not go. He couldn't get it anywhere there. And so he just kept pushing him out and out and out.
Sure.
And then he was in Bed-Stuy, which, have you been to Bed-Stuy?
I have no idea what that is. I have heard that word in
Yeah.
reference to New York, but I have no idea where that is.
Bedford-Stuyvesant. So no one really, not many people go there for vacation, but Notorious B.I.G. started there.
Oh, wow.
So that's probably how. But it's just really funny. It's just like, it's really hard to live in an RV.
Yeah.
And it's also really hard to move to New York because it feels like the entire city doesn't want you to move.
Yeah. Path of resistance is like really tough. Yeah.
And I was talking to Gray about this a while. I was like, the polar opposites are very, very similar because it's also really hard to make friends in the RV or
in New York City.
Everybody has headphones in now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've noticed because it's such a loud city because of cars and also random moped scooters. I don't know why they're so loud, but everybody just has headphones in. So it's like, don't mess with me, don't F with me. Like, how do you meet people? And so.
Yeah. That's like at least like I mean, I don't know. Seinfeld's obviously like a romanticized version of it. But it was interesting how, Seinfeld had friends, even in the show, like he had his friends that were, like he would go to the parties with and stuff. And the bit was he hated all of those people.
Yeah.
But then he like loved, like he met Newman because he was his mailman. And then he met like he knew he would have genuine conversations with like his bellhop or like, just people that like
Casey Neistat was friends with his UPS delivery guy.
Yeah, like legit, like that is legitimately one of his human interactions for the day.
Yeah.
But I feel like New York is one of those places where you could genuinely go. And I think church is amazing there because I think church, it kind of goes back to its historical place in society in ginormous places like that, which I think is a fascinating thing to ponder. But when you think about, like, if you have no church family at all, because like church family's discipline is to make you feel at home. Besides that, like it would be the most lonely place ever, unless you were famous. But even if you were famous, like
then you just end up with fake people wanting to be friends with you.
Just wanting to be friends with you just because they want other friends that know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It does seem like a really. I mean, my friend, like one of my friends from high school, Riley, she did it. She got a job at Ralph Lauren, and her friend got a job at some sock company. Not Bombas, but it's another, like, one of the popular sock companies.
Stamps.
It's just so funny. It legitimately might have been. I don't remember. But they both moved up there. They had jobs in New York. They worked remote the whole time they were there because they moved up there. We graduated during COVID. And legitimately, like, I mean, they might have had other friends, but they only posted pictures of one another for 2 straight years. Like but I feel like that's one of those places where you could, if you had like one buddy, it would be like absurd. Like it would be so much fun.
Yeah.
But if you had a squad, it would be like, that would be kind of a movie. But there's no way that 5 people who are all friends could all make money and stay in New York. Like that. Yeah. That's just, the odds are against you. I feel like 1 in 50 people actually can make it there. So
Lane, would you move to big city?
You know, right now, there has to be a reason for us to move again because we recently moved back to Birmingham. Fun stuff. We really do like Birmingham. It is hilariously easy, like how easy it is to make friends here, especially in the cycling community. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we all have some buddies in Atlanta, and they're all hitting us with the pitch, like, why don't you move to Atlanta, da-da-da. Like, all that sort of thing.
They always do.
It's like, there's got to be a real good reason for us to move, and I don't think we'll ever move to Atlanta. But I only have a few friends in New York. I don't know anybody in Chicago. We don't really want to move back to Denver. I do love SF, hate LA, love San Diego. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I was going to talk about earlier. Like, we're kind of going around in circles. We're not really staying on topic very much. I hope that if you're listening, this isn't frustrating. But I'm so curious. Like, I was talking about this. Like, 20,000 people live within the same vicinity as you in downtown. And it's like an empty thing. What does it take to get people to go to those places?
Oh,
like why
to Hero and Monday Night?
Yeah, like also like if you're Hero, and you're opened up there, like so let's just say like if you owned Hero, okay, like it could be literally anything, but it's just say it's like a restaurant. Like what would you do to make it a community place for those people that literally live there?
I mean, it's really good food.
Yeah,
it's obviously kind of corporate now because they got bought out. It just feels kind of soulless in the Hero place. Obviously, a better example is Rojo. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
It's similar. There's a lot of people that live nearby. Really great food, really great atmosphere. It kind of, we were talking about yesterday, Rojo, it makes sense to drink beer, alcohol there.
Mm-hmm.
Hero, for some reason, has a full bar, or maybe they took out their liquor license, but they have beer and wine. Who is drinking beer at a Hero Donuts location?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I get a mimosa on a Saturday. Like, I understand that. But it's like, if you try to invite some people over to Hero, it's like, oh, I'm not hungry. And so there's not a real reason to go. Also, it's the brightest light ever, whereas Rojo's very moody.
Yeah, that's super true.
Cozy.
Yeah.
That's actually super true. I feel like literally if you're going to be a nighttime place, which Hero definitely, I think Hero could be coffee shop in the morning for sure if it wanted to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
that's why I think East Pole could do the nighttime bar thing because it's dark in there. And it can easily be, like during the day, the natural light through the windows makes it light and airy, but at night, you just, it's dark outside and you get moody light and the paint is already dark, so it can be dark.
Steven did not like Meyer's answer, so he just
he
stormed
bounced
off. Yeah.
I feel like there's a big trend. I mean, this is more of like a coffee shop thing, so I wonder how it could translate to being open at night, but like hosting run clubs, hosting cycles, hosting like improv nights or something. I don't know. Like I see a lot of coffee shops doing that kind of stuff. I feel like if you turned it into like a listening room on a Friday night,
that'd be pretty good.
Like bring in a guy to spin vinyl or like do something like that just to create buzz around the space.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably what you have to do, I would guess.
There's just a lot of, one, like Birmingham, it's a pretty poor city, so it's hard to get anybody out and about. And two, it's, are we still talking about Hero? Is like,
like how would you get people to come to Hero on a Friday night?
I don't think I would, because it closes at 8. It's only good for dinner, or at that spot.
What about Monday night?
Monday night's doing pretty well.
You think? I mean, I've only been there a couple of times, but every time I've been, there's like no one there.
It's just like, hey, have you been to a brewery that's massive building, super tall ceilings, overpriced beer, Jenga? Like, I think breweries are so played out as well.
That's fair. That's fair. I like Back 40 because they have good food.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I don't really like beer, so like that's never been an appealing part of a brewery to me.
Yeah.
It's just if you have a large group of people and you want to go out and hang somewhere, that's like the easiest way to do that.
Trim Tab for sure, I would say is the best because it feels cemented into the part of the city. This is going to be a huge Birmingham topic episode, I guess. But
we tend to be.
Yeah, but you go into the new Ghost Train, you're like, did you guys open yesterday? Like, what is going on? I don't understand. There's no sense of place.
Sure.
You don't feel comfortable walking around or sitting or doing anything. And so going back into this, I am very interested to see how the new Golden Age downtown's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just outside, no covering, just glasses in that little alleyway.
I was actually I was talking about this with Kellen this morning, and I don't know anything about this. Have you talked to Brandon about it?
I talked to one of the owners
Okay.
2 weeks ago, maybe.
Cool.
So
what's the other guy's name that owns Golden Age?
he's got the cool hat.
Oh, that's Brandon then.
Brandon has the longer hair,
Yeah.
and the other guy is like Cameron or something like that.
I will say over the years, I rarely spoke to them, but every time I do, I like blush. I think they're the coolest people ever.
Yeah.
They are so
Genuinely.
nice.
So cool.
genuine.
We need to try to get them on.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if we got them on to kind of like be a part of PR for their new stores.
Yeah, they definitely need us.
But to answer your question, so if you're looking at Hetland, I would say
Yeah, it's like this little
like
like
30 yards to the
garden
left.
alleyway
with
gated
the yellow
thing.
chairs. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're not going to have any indoor space even to order?
From what he has said, it's strictly outside.
Strictly patio.
Very European.
Like when it rains, they'll be closed.
Yeah. I asked him, I was like, is there any covering? He said no. I bet he was inspired, by other parts of the world, of course. But the garage is so special.
Yeah.
And so freaking good and old school and cheap and just it feels like the community goes there.
Yeah.
And
it feels like
super rad.
This isn't my family, but it feels like my grandfather went here with his buds for lunch during work and then took my dad, and now my dad takes me there for lunch on Tuesdays. That's what the garage feels like.
Yeah.
It feels cemented as a part of Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely doing the third space thing really well for Highland Park.
Yeah.
I never went there when I lived in Highland Park, which I really am bummed about.
Sandwiches are good too.
Yeah, that might be the best sandwich in Birmingham, I think. I can't really think of a better place now. Now that what's its place is closed.
Honestly, dude, the Italian at Firehouse.
Firehouse subs?
Dude,
You're
y'all
crazy.
ever had what I'm talking about? You ever had an Italian at Firehouse?
Firehouse is really good.
The garage is really good, but have you heard of Subway?
Yeah.
No,
That's what
not
Steven
the
just
same
said.
thing. Not the same thing.
There's a really good
Steven just
Subway
said.
and Crestwood.
Subway's good, but Firehouse is like unbelievably better. I would love to do a ranking on that one day. But yeah, I think that the garage is fascinating. It's fascinating to me. Like what they're doing, everyone should copy. No one I don't know if I should say this or not.
It's hard to copy authenticity.
Like no one wants the freaking gosh, this is so rude. Nobody wants another Hero Donuts in Birmingham. You know what I mean? Like nobody, and I don't mean a literal Hero Donuts. I'm talking about like nobody wants another like fake. Like I remember working for a coffee shop in the past, and when we learned it was investor funded, we like hated it. It made everything make sense. It literally made like the owners would come in, and they would just like freak out sometimes. Like they would just be like, they come in and they would just find something to scream at us about. Like uniform, milk supply, inventory, you name it. Like they're finding something. And then other times, and then when things were going well, like no, they never showed up. So I felt like it made so much sense whenever I realized, I was like, oh, their investors are mad at them today. Or like, oh, like they got a bad numbers report that they have to show to their investors. That's why they're screaming at us. It's because like they had no idea. Maybe it was just like a slower week. They don't know our customer base. They didn't know that it was spring break, so nobody was there, or like whatever it was, you know? So I just think I think when things are investor based and not just like they're like the pressure it puts on the owner of business, which we talked about yesterday. I feel like the pressure that keeping a business open, that pressure that is on the owner of the business is needed and good, because I feel like that owner should be like available enough to like what's going on in the shop or whatever it is, enough to make a change. And if they're not, then that's just like the definition of like that means that you're probably going to go out of business, and that's like a natural law. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Bottle, though.
Not Blue Bottle.
Yeah. Shout out to Nestle.
Shout out Nestle.
Really proud of you.
You
guys.
make the most pretty to go cup I've ever seen in my life.
So good.
Lane, what would be a perfect Saturday in Birmingham?
You know,
like, don't think about your budget. You know, just here's $1,500. Go do whatever is a perfect day in Birmingham.
it would have to be downtown. Again, it would be a little bike stroll. Ride to June. I don't know. Go to the garage. I mean, it's literally all the places that we've been to or talked about. I think.
I'm curious, when you go on a bike ride to June, how do you get over, like, to the other side of Birmingham from the like? How do you get over the railroad tracks?
So you either go under or you go over the pedestrian bridge.
Yeah. What do you do? I'm wondering.
Yeah. So depending on the type of bike I'm riding, I usually just turn left onto like 19th Street, rip it into, I don't know, 3rd Ave South, and then you turn right onto the one way, and it feels like you're going on the interstate or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you literally just go get on 3rd and take 3rd all the way down. Do people get mad at you on 3rd?
No. I mean, with the e-bike, I can go 35, so I can go above the speed limit.
Dang, that's crazy.
But
yeah, you care if I take that for a spin after this?
Dude, I do not care at all.
Let's freaking go. I would love to.
McClendon, he was he loved it.
Dude,
he saw you guys at
he loves bikes right now. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he did 20 miles the other day, either today or yesterday.
With his dad.
Short trail.
Yeah.
What?
I think it was today. He put it on a story.
Yeah.
He did 20 miles on the Lakeshore Trail?
Well, I don't know what their loop was. We could check Strava and see.
Dude, that's wild. Let's go. Did he put it on Strava? He posted it on Strava Instagram. On Instagram?
No, he just posted like a picture and was like 20 miles with pops or something.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Hot off the presses, man. Let's rip it.
What's the longest ride you've been on?
I did 60 a month or two ago. Once again, I'm very slow, so that helps with things. Am I holding this mic right?
Yeah. Sure.
Does this sounds good to you guys?
You sound
an
amazing.
Hour in.
Yeah. Is mine on?
yeah, we haven't been able to hear you the whole time.
Yeah, but I'm making some good points.
Yeah.
People can feel it, you know.
Yeah, I went to Buc-ee's and back.
Yeah.
And then I did a Ruffner loop, and then I was sweating. I went into Golden Age to ask for water, and I had some like toast and olive oil.
Love.
Yeah.
Dude, so when you're on a 60-mile ride
yeah.
and you come up to a hill,
mm-hmm.
like, you ever had to unclip and just like swallow your pride and push it up?
Sometimes I do, yeah. If it's like really, really steep, but my gearing is so high or so low that you could just go slow enough.
Yeah.
And then you could just do like the S turns, and so
you're
not just like hitting it straight up.
Sure. I have a hard time with mine, and mine is like definitely more cruiser vibes. It would be harder to go on a long distance thing, something like that. But I have like one of the old bikes that has like the gears on the bottom, and like on like by the seat kind of.
Yeah.
And I like whenever I'm struggling going up a hill, I cannot keep my balance and change the gear, especially if I accidentally do it wrong, which has happened before. It makes for like a really, really abrupt stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a terrible, terrible vibe when that happens. But I think mine's only like I've always been curious about this too. Mine's only like there's probably like 4 gears, and then there's like 2 big gears.
Mm-hmm.
So like for you, whenever you're going up a hill, how many more gears does like a road bike, like a nice road bike have?
So I have 2 in the front derailleur, and then I bet I have like 10 or 11 in the back.
Oh wow. Okay, so there's a ton.
Yeah, there's
You
a
have
good
22 different. So if you're going your like easiest, like you can really go uphill then.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say so.
Interesting. What is the
Slowly,
term for
but
that? Like when you go your easiest
grandpa
tension,
gear.
grandpa gear.
Or granny gear, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Depends on if you're a boy or a girl.
What has
Grandpa
more
gear, granny
slang?
gear.
What has more slang? Climbing or
Climbing,
cycling?
for sure.
Okay.
Before you even asked. You knew.
I think the best slang of all sports is surfing.
Yeah.
I think those guys are the coolest people ever.
Yeah.
Cycling is really rad because it's like you can make it as cool as you want, but like you can go to like get your little fixie, ride to the pub, like lock it up. You're drinking Guinness and the like outside.
Sure.
It's just fun. It's like, oh, that's my bike, da da da, and like it's so cool to be like, we didn't even freaking drive here. Like I was like,
Yeah.
there's people from Hoover that drove 25 minutes to this place, and we rode our bikes. But I'm already on another freaking tangent here. But I think climbing. Oh yeah, at the end of the day, you're still wearing Lycra, and you look super silly because you got a helmet on, you got the race glasses on, you got padded shorts. So like it's just.
What kind of bib do you have? Do you have a Rafa one?
No, I thrift most of my bibs, which I think is taboo because it's kind of like
It's a little scary.
underwear. Yeah,
Yeah.
It is kind
I
of like
wash them
underwear,
pretty good, but it's mostly specialized in Cahaba cycle stuff. But
Cool.
but climbing, I think the culture, at least for outdoor, is like so sick.
Do you
Very
still
hippie.
climb much?
You know, so the way I really started to like Birmingham more is I had to climb a lot less because it gets so
Yeah.
hot here that the climbing season is around 4 months. Some say 8. Don't buy that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't even hear those.
They're lying out of their teeth.
Yeah, we're talking about you, Jared Gibson. He's freaking sweating, pebble wrestling over in horse pens. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? We're at the bar.
So funny.
But
Jared is genuinely more like besides people like I know one dude who like straight up moved to Kentucky like for the whole season. Like besides that guy, Jared's probably the most dedicated to the craft of anyone I've ever met.
Yeah.
With
he's
climbing.
much stronger than me.
He is a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also has a YouTube channel about it. So
Yeah. He's pretty good.
yeah.
I just have like beta videos on.
I wouldn't be surprised if one day he just became a full-time climbing YouTuber. If he really gets tired of Boeing.
Yeah.
Just doing him dirty.
Yeah. Boeing will go out of business and they'll pay him out like so much money, so he'll just go do it
Yeah.
full time. Dude, Myers, if you like, I mean, you're like in an area that's not downtown, but a still amazing area to live in. Walkability, bikeability, all the things. How much do you find yourself walking or biking?
Well, I run.
Okay.
So I run depending on the week and schedule and weather, but I run probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Where like when you leave your apartment, where do you run? Do you ever start up the hill or do you
Sometimes.
always go? Okay.
Yeah, I honestly wanted to start naming some of the loops, and then I realized you have to pay for the Strava Premium to do that, and I don't really feel like doing that.
Yeah.
But
I bet the bullet about the annual one.
yeah, I'll do it eventually, but not right now. I'm trying to avoid all those subscriptions because they stack pretty fast once you start doing them. But yeah, there's there's a 5-mile loop, a 6-mile loop, and then you can do them in reverse. I can run from one village to the next and back. There are a bunch of different ways you can do that, and you can do it on like a flat way or a hilly way.
Yeah.
The longest one I've done was I almost hit 11 miles, and then I cramped up and had to bail. But I ran over through English Village, which is just like basically a straight up like 250 foot of elevation gain, probably straight up and over and down the mountain through Highland Park, which is also very hilly.
Yeah.
All the way out to Irondale, and then started coming back. So that was like my longest run loop. But there's a 10-mile loop where you can go from like my house near the Botanical Gardens through Homewood back down Lakeshore and back. I've done that once.
Yeah, that's the one that Brady did last weekend. I ran with Brady on Friday morning. We just did a nice little 3-miler.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
but I love living over there because of all of that. And then Claire and I will walk. There's not like a regular schedule that we walk, but we'll walk to, Lady Bird and get breakfast sometimes, or we'll just go for a walk together and do a loop around the village and come back or something like that. Claire also, she walks a good bit. She'll go walk down to Jimison and come back or do something like that. So we definitely do that a lot. It's something we value about where we live.
That's what I miss the most of living in like a suburb. Like whenever I lived in Wake Forest, it was such a runnable area, just like that, because it was like so downtown centric and sidewalks everywhere and all that stuff. And another cool part about it was you always ran into other people running too. In Birmingham, I've never, unless I run the Rotary Trail sometimes, but like out here by Cahaba Cycles or Cahaba Brewery, no one ever runs that far down there.
No.
Like it's only me for the first like mile and a half, and then once you get over there, beside Ghost Train Brewery, there's a lot of breweries. I've never really thought about that.
Too many breweries, someone said.
Because at the very end of it is Monday night, the one we were talking about earlier. But yeah, once you get down there, you see a lot more. And then whenever you get downtown, you see even more. But yeah, out here at the end, like nobody's ever running. But it's super interesting because I feel like there's a lot of healthy people in Crestwood, like my neighborhood. That I just don't know where they're going to exercise.
Yeah. There aren't as many sidewalks around Crestwood.
Yeah.
There's the park, which I see people running and walking around the park. I don't really like to run in circles, Yeah. I would never go to a track, and similarly the park, you kind of run in a circle. I like to do a loop. So I'll run. That's what I like about Mountain Brook is you can kind of run out one road and then back another road.
Yeah, it's a lot of loops.
Yeah, and
you run around the country club, dude. It's like so pretty. If you run Country Club Boulevard, I'm not even gonna lie.
This section is so sweet.
Yeah,
it's like it's pretty. I mean, I'm pretty against country clubs or golf courses in general. I think it's really silly, but turning right and then you just see the country club or like the golf course on your left, you're like, this freaking slaps.
Yeah, whenever, because all the country club, for those who don't know about this and you live in Birmingham, you should go just like walk this with your significant other or by yourself or with your dog or do something. Just go to it. But Country Club Boulevard is like kind of tucked away. All the other parts of the country club are fenced off. You can't see in, or there's like like really tall trees or something. But this one has no fence. It's just like the road and then the country club. And I'm talking about the Birmingham Country Club. And it is just so pretty, and it's just completely wide open. And I always ran, whenever I originally got into running post-grad, I ran the 6 mile loop. I forget what it is. There's a name for it. The 6 mile loop that everybody runs in Mountain Brook, where you start at Crestline Bagel, you run down to Jemison, you run all of Jemison, then you run up and over the hill. But the last, like 3/4 mile, how long is that section? Is that a mile or is it 3/4 mile? I don't know.
I would guess it's like half a mile to 3/4.
The last half mile was that stretch, and it was always like I don't know, it might be just like positive because it was at the end of 6 miles. It's like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah,
I'm about to be done, and then we would eat Crestline Bagel afterwards.
Yeah.
But I love that section. Mountain Brook is such a pretty area to run through.
Yeah,
but it's funny whenever you run over to Homewood, just even though it's like a cute area, like it's still pretty like concrete jungle vibes in comparison. You know what I mean?
Not as conducive. Yeah, I like to run. That's probably my favorite loop is I'll run up. Oh, what is that road called? Montevallo? Is that what it is? And it goes by the Anglican church. And then you cross at the light and then go down Country Club Boulevard. And then sometimes if I want to do like the whole thing, I go out to Jemison and come back down. But sometimes I'll just come back down
straight
Montevallo.
Wow. Dang, we're really doing the rodeo bit from SNL right now.
We
What
hit
is
the
that?
405 to the 5.
Oh, yeah.
You really should have hit the 220.
I was just
That's
like,
perfect.
No, I think cities are fascinating. The reason that we were talking about this is because, the reason we've been talking about this whole time is because usually whenever we're with Lane, we tend to talk about city development, city structure, and stuff like that because, oh yeah, they did a Black and White did a collab with some company that's, I can't remember what it's called. It's some like ethics company, but anyways, it means something. I think it's like ALS recovery or not recovery,
Ice Bucket
ALS
Challenge,
something. Yeah, Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge coffee.
Something like that. It's either that or
Crazy collab.
women's voting or freaking something like that.
Yeah.
Hot take, women should vote.
Yeah, hot take.
Whoa.
Women
Yeah.
should vote.
Whoa.
I
We're going to have to
know.
cut
We're
this part.
loud.
We're going to have to cut
Are we
this part.
recording?
But usually whenever we're with Lane, we talk about city planning and stuff like that and Europe and all that jazz. But it is fascinating to me. It always is. Birmingham is like a very, if you live in downtown, it's like Lane said, it's pretty easy to bike around, not easy to walk around. Very atrociously annoying to drive around if you live in downtown. It is so unbearably frustrating to drive around downtown sometimes.
Yeah.
What makes
And
you
that's
say that?
good.
Yeah, like
That's a good thing.
the fact that it takes me 15 minutes to get from here to the Galleria, which is 5 times as far as UAB.
Yeah.
But it takes me 17 minutes to get from here to UAB.
It's very easy to go north-south in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And it is very, very difficult to go east-west.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't blow red lights.
Yeah.
And
but
it's
cyclists can. The Idaho
That's true.
Stroll
That's right.
or the Idaho stop.
Yeah.
Forget what it's called.
I think that's super interesting whenever you think about it. Because it's easy to go north-south with a car. Impossible to go north-south walking or cycling. Impossible to go east-west with a car. Very easy to go east-west walking or cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they did, like whenever I was in Salzburg, they had this like big tunnel that just went through the bottom of the mountain for cycling and it took you from neighborhood to neighborhood. What if there was a, like beside, I don't know where it would be, like UAB, at the bottom of Highland Park, like by like Foodland, like, or not Foodland, Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah.
There was like a little hole and it was like a mile to the other side. But
That
it was
would be
a
crazy.
big tunnel at the bottom of the base of the hill. And, Gracie's just fell or something.
We got to keep the podcast going.
Yeah. But like on the other side, it just came out and there was very minimal elevation gain, but you were just like out in downtown Homewood.
That would be crazy.
That would be sick. I feel like a lot of people would cycle that.
I can't imagine how expensive that would be to do.
I have no idea. Like the one in Salzburg is probably way less than a mile, but it's literally that, and it was like ancient. Like literally, it's been there for like thousands of years. Like I think they hand dug it or whatever that would be.
That
or
makes sense.
Dynamite or something. Freaking cartoons, you get it. Yeah. Okay, Lane. Is there anything else that you want to talk about today on the pod? You said you wanted to talk about cities, third spaces. There was something else. I feel like
Cars.
Yeah, I think that's all similar. I just try to drive my car less. I have a pretty crappy Hyundai Tucson, so I don't like to drive it.
I guess that's one way to discourage yourself from driving is get a car you don't like.
Well, that's my wife and I were like, oh, like it would be nice to get a newer car, Like we would do like a monthly payment, so we didn't have to do it like all of it in cash. But I feel like the monthly payment, it kind of incentivizes you to drive. And I work remote, so it's like there's no real reason for me to drive. Talking about downtown Publix, I go probably like 2 or 3 times a week via bike because I have a milk crate in the back of the e-bike. So I just lock it up, get my groceries, get my little tote bag, plop it in. And
Bada bing, bada boom.
I try like once a month go to Trader Joe's and fill up on all the goodies over there.
Yeah.
Snacks.
I cannot ride my bike over there.
No.
Yeah. I think it would be awesome to go to Trader Joe's with Gracie this week because they have all their fall snacks now.
They do.
Like their PSL stuff.
Yep.
One thing that I'm excited for, speaking of seasonal beverages, wasn't that excited for the pumpkin spice latte to be back this year. I'm not going to lie. I'm not really stoked for fall drinks. I don't really love... I think I've always in my whole life really loved cinnamon. I don't really know if I'm on a big cinnamon kick right now. I don't really know what that means for me. But one thing I am excited for, I thought about this the other day for the first time, peppermint mocha. I'm excited.
Really?
Interesting.
I'm excited for that type of drink to come back into the world and resurface. I love Christmas drinks.
Lane, are you like a seasonal drink guy or like the special drink at the coffee shop? Do you get it?
If we're just talking coffee shop, no. I get a hot espresso drink, cold, super hot outside. Probably get a nice latte
Okay.
or like a nice coffee, but yeah, I don't know.
But do you like
You never get syrup in your coffee? Ever?
Oh,
Or syrup in your
Not
latte or
usually.
whatever?
not usually. My wife, we usually. When
she's
I
got you covered?
Yeah. Well, I just get a sip of hers. I'm like, oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
Nice vanilla latte. But at home, it's a totally different story because I got the Breville Barista Express.
Whoa! I don't know if I knew you had that.
Fancy Nancy, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that thing. So I do brown sugar, oat milk, latte. And do you know who I got inspired by?
Starbucks.
Blue Bottle.
Really?
Ooh.
Blue Bottle doesn't have like any syrups at their cafes, I feel like.
Brown
So.
sugar.
That's the only thing
That's
they
the
have.
only thing they have. And so
Wow.
I got their Oatly full fat because that's the oat milk they use.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of Cubano vibes a little bit.
it's so good.
I made a Cubano at Revelator when I worked there.
Rest in peace.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe not in peace, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely resting.
resting deceased.
Jeez, yeah.
definitely
For-
not be alive anymore.
So
Yeah.
this is something I kind of wish coffee shops did more, but it's kind of complicated to make. You put like 5 grams of brown sugar in the ground espresso before you pull the shot. So you like put the grounds in, put the sugar in, put more grounds in, and then you pull the shot with the sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a Cubano is, and it's
Cubano.
pretty good.
Cubans did it, so
Yes.
now it's called a Cubano.
Yeah,
Is that true?
I have no idea.
I kind of feel like it
I
is.
did tell,
Most-
whenever I was in Cuba, I told the Cubans that I met about the sandwich that we have in America, the Cuban.
Yeah.
They had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
So I think it's very funny.
They got to get on it.
So I think it was an invention made by Cubans who lived in Miami.
Yeah.
The word has still not gotten back to Cuba yet.
That's
So
funny.
I'm curious about the Cubano as well. Because whenever I had coffee in Cuba, it was the darkest crap I've ever drank in my whole life. It would almost be like drinking crude oil.
Wow.
But the Cubano having sugar in it seems... next time I go, I'll
Yeah,
hit
I
'em
mean,
up.
the Americano was named after when Americans were in Italy during, I think, the World War.
That's what they
would,
made.
They would order a black coffee, and they didn't have that. They just had espresso. So
That's funny. I
could-
didn't
when
know
they
that.
would give them the espresso shot, they'd be like, "No, I want a black coffee." And so the Italians were like, "Okay." So they filled up a cup of water and then put the shot in the cup of water.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Here you go." And they were like, "Oh yes, black coffee. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted."
And that
and that's how
same
the Americano was made.
and that same posture towards coffee still exists in old people today.
Yep.
Whoa.
That's
Change
crazy,
is slow.
actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
So I feel like that could be how the Cubano was made. Things tend to be named after just the country of
sure.
whoever invented or made up the thing.
So you just make brown sugar syrup.
Yeah.
And you just put that with your oat milk
So
latte.
good.
That
Yeah.
actually sounds kind of tasty.
And then I do Mitch McEvers stuff. His
Yeah.
little Mexico
Whammy. Corporate sponsor of the pod, by the way.
bun. So good.
If you're wanting coffee in Birmingham, get Whammy.
Yeah. He
Whammy
throws it-
beans.
Yeah, throws it at my door.
possibly a cafe coming here soon.
Could be.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So, and in one of these like funky little, not funky, that's the wrong word, but like one of the tucked away communities that we've been talking about here around. And anyways, I'm not going to give away any more secrets, but yeah, we're really excited. We hope that works out, and I would be there a lot if they open up a cafe.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I think that biking is awesome. I'm really curious what I'm going to do next, because I'm kind of in the same thing where I'm like, do I my car could give up away. Like, I mean, I think I'm like really close to the average miles that my car lasts on app. Like, does that make any sense? Like the amount of miles.
The average lifespan of your car is fast approaching.
Yes,
Because it's a Chrysler.
Yes.
But yeah, is that what the Jeep is? Is a Chrysler? Yeah.
At that time, I think it got bought out by a Chrysler.
Yeah.
It started to get a little worse.
So my car's not super dependable, but it will be for like, I don't know, 20,000 more miles, which is, granted, but at the rate that I'm driving it right now, will be quite a while before I drive at 20,000 more miles. But I've been trying to figure out, do I get a bike, or do I get like a e-motorbike or whatever they're called, and kind of just never drive my car, and then postpone, like punt on my car note.
Yeah.
Like the car note that I will have to take on one day. Or I guess you just save the whole time because you would never buy gas. I don't know. It's just we're in this kind of thing. We also had this one bit whenever we started talking about this, or this one segment, and it was, if Jesus drove a car, what would he drive? What do you think?
It would be a first-gen 4Runner.
First-gen 4Runner. That's that honestly
reliable. 4-wheel drive, so I can go in the desert.
And that's super true. Also, everybody always says Astra van.
I was going to say it's probably a Toyota Sienna hybrid, so you can fit a lot of people in it and get good gas mileage.
Yeah, dude, I was looking at video reviews of the Land Cruiser, the new Land Cruiser today. They are unbelievably beautiful, by the way.
They're very cool.
They're $80,000. Didn't know that till afterwards.
They are.
But I was watching a car YouTuber review the new GX 460 or 640.
550. I might be
the
wrong.
Lexus. Maybe there's a 550.
We just say the GX.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
Lexus
GX.
The new Toyota 4Runner in 2025 is changing, and then the Land Cruiser 2025 is on the road.
Yeah,
and
I think the 4Runner is 26. The Land Cruiser is 25.
What?
The new ones.
No, the new. Well, I mean, I watched the whole YouTube thing on it this morning, so I'm gonna trust my YouTubers. But they had it, and they were just essentially saying they have no idea why there's a price differential, because they're triplet cars. Like, all of them are the exact. They have the same drive chain, they have the same interiors, except for the Land Cruiser's just like the screen behind the steering wheel and the screen that's in the middle is the same screen, whereas the Land Cruiser has like the 4Runner has like the sunk screen like that you would typically think of behind the steering wheel. There's another screen on the side, but they're like the same exact car. And it's weird because the 4Runner has more stuff. It comes with like this Bluetooth speaker, and like it comes with a cooling box. It comes with a plug in the back, like all the things that are really expensive that are the additional thing. But the only thing that's different is the Land Cruiser can drive in 4-wheel drive all the time, and you have to get a certain type of 4Runner, like the highest level 4Runner, in order to get it that. And at that point, it's just the same price.
Yeah,
as a Land Cruiser, which is so funny to me. Like the intricacies of it all, the fact that Toyota has just nailed itself as like the primary dependable car. And they just made 3 of the same cars, different body style, and they're just like,
it's very confusing.
They're selling out like crazy too.
Because the Land Cruiser used to be the flagship, and that term just means like the top tier, the top of the line one. So the Land Cruiser used to be this like $90,000 truck. It's got like there were barely any options because it just had everything.
Yeah.
and it was built to last like 25 years. So the stereotypical person who bought a Land Cruiser, like, paid for it in cash, bought it, drove it for an eternity, and then like passed it on to their kid and then paid cash to get a new one again.
Yeah.
Like, that is the stereotype of a Land Cruiser buyer. And so they didn't sell that many of them necessarily, but it was for like wealthy people who didn't really want to flaunt their wealth and get like a Mercedes or a high-end car. But they wanted something that was like very dependable and was pretty high-end. And for some reason, Toyota, like this heritage model, the Land Cruiser's been around since the 70s, and it's kind of occupied that same space basically since like the 80s. The first models were more like Jeeps, and now they kind of just became the high end but like subtle expensive SUV.
Yeah, because if you know about it, you know it's super nice, but if you don't know about it, you're just like, oh, a RAV4.
Yeah,
you know?
A big 4Runner or something.
Yeah.
And the Lexus was always like that, but kind of like make it be a little bit flashy, basically. So they kind of trimmed it up a little bit, gave it some more chrome and like more leather, and made it look nicer. But they've always shared like the same things. So the Lexus LX was always the same thing as the 4Runner or the Land Cruiser. They just dressed it up nicer, put lipstick on it, whatever.
Yeah.
Now the Land Cruiser is a smaller SUV that is more affordably priced than previously. And so they've made it more like this off-roady, like heritage, kind of like the new Bronco. Like, is very
they said that was
vibes.
what they were trying to compete with this time.
Right.
It was a Bronco.
But then this 4Runner has always occupied the space below that was like, it's not a 3-row SUV. It's not full-sized. It's not as premium, but it is still built to last a long time and be like a really good off-roader. And so now when they like bring the Land Cruiser down a little bit and make it not a 3-row SUV, it has a 3-row option, but it's not the size of like a 3-row SUV, and make it this like kind of a cool heritage. You get it in a cool, colorful color with a white roof, so it looks like it's from the 60s, but it's modern. It kind of occupies the same space as the 4Runner, so it's become really confusing. Like, why are you making two of basically the same thing?
Yeah, and one's just like randomly $15,000 more.
Yeah, and the 4Runner is like kind of the better car. Yeah, it's more capable off road in some ways.
But genuinely, the Land Cruiser just looks cooler.
Right,
it looks better. Yeah,
right.
It's got to be different chassis. There's no way they're using the same chassis.
I know they use the same drivetrain, so it's the same engine and powertrain.
Yeah, like the Land Cruiser. It's interesting because the interior looks super different, but the length of the car, the Land Cruiser is only like 1.2 inches longer. Yeah. Even though the Land Cruiser looks way smaller.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how that works, but anyways, I love this because you love talking about this, and I kind of realized that as you were talking about this, we've never really talked about cars on the podcast.
What, dude? Yeah, growing up, especially in Atlanta, like I was really big into going to car shows and all that sort of thing.
The biggest car show that regularly happens in America happens in Atlanta.
Buckhead?
Caffeine and Octane?
Caffeine and Octane.
Yeah.
Where is that? I've heard of that.
It meets at the Buckhead Mall, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
they
have heard
switched
of
it
that.
around a bit.
Yeah. I thought that you were talking about that's like a place.
No.
Oh, that's like
it meets
Cars and
once
Coffee.
a month. It's called Caffeine and Octane, and it's the biggest like regularly meeting car show. Like not once a year, but like every month it happens.
Yeah, first Sunday of every month, I think.
Yeah.
Dude,
Atlanta has a lot of.
Dude, why do you think? What's the name of that like motorcycle coffee shop back in the day in Atlanta?
Brother Moto.
Why do you think Brother Moto went out of business?
You know they would only do espresso.
No, they only served espresso in there.
That's what I believe. Yeah.
That place was unbelievably cool. I only went there
cool.
one time.
I would describe Brother Moto as like 2016 hipster.
Yeah.
Where like cafe racers are so cool. And you walk in, you're like, coffee shops are so cool. And
like sidecars.
And I know you guys love cafes. I just think that we're at the end of the cool season of coffee shops. We're out of here. I think we're at the fourth wave, but not in the way you describe it. I think we're at fourth wave because I could get an espresso machine for $400, throw it in my kitchen, and it's incredible.
And that's what fourth wave is.
Yeah, bringing the cafe to you.
Whoa.
So it's like my coffee is just good. I mean, it's good for me at least.
Sure.
But
Yeah, like you go to. I see what you're saying. Like, and I feel like that kind of puts words to it where, because you've talked. Yeah, it's a little deep, but you talk about the cafes. Or whenever we talk about these third space conversations, you're very quick to turn it into bars, which I think is like super smart, honestly. And I feel like kind of puts words to it where you kind of have to offer more than just like being a good coffee. You have to offer more than coffee. No, I mean you don't have to, because I feel like you can still do just coffee and it'd be great. But if you offer, like, one thing that Abby Matafa was saying this morning, whenever I was over at her house eating brunch and watching Alabama football, Roll Tide, frick Wisconsin, we killed them today. Anyways, one thing that we were talking about was she likes going to Juniper because you can go get a drink, you can go get apps, you can go get drinks and apps, you can get drinks and apps and dinner. You can do whatever you want when you show up there, and it's all normal. Yeah. And the tables aren't like, it's not this super like intense seated vibe. So I feel like, okay, cool. It's right by General.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I honestly feel like Seeds is entering into a market where, well, first off, you think about it from their perspective, their coffee's freaking expensive and nobody notices, which is crazy. And their coffee isn't better than it used to be. So I feel like Seeds is like charging. I bought I got an oat milk something the other day, cappuccino or something, $8.50, and I was like, that's a freaking bar. Yeah, like that is like you could go get a beer at a bar for less than that, but or more than that or whatever. But I feel like it's fascinating. Dang, we're really talking business now, but like, and then they also have food, and their food is. I got a breakfast burrito at Seeds, and it is like the best breakfast burrito in Birmingham, better than freaking Lady Bird. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, it was wild. They also have like honey sriracha drizzle, which is like kind of makes everything better in my opinion. So that's also my bias there. But it was just interesting to me how I went in there and paid $18.50 for a breakfast burrito and a cappuccino or cup of coffee or whatever it was. And I like went in there and there was just like so many people around. Everybody was getting food. Everybody was like studying. Like
their
there's people
food program
studying,
is really
getting
good.
And their cafe hasn't really changed that much.
Yeah.
Like internally.
Yeah, they redesigned like the last few years. It's like, this is definitely a change. But I think that White Juniper. Yeah.
Is there another cafe with a food program?
Woodlawn Cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you get food at any other cafe in Birmingham?
And by that I mean not just get Ladybird tacos out of the oven that keeps them warm for 7 hours.
Yeah.
And not just get Last Call Bakery.
Yeah.
Baked goods.
Genuinely?
Can you go into someplace and get avocado toast or a breakfast burrito?
That's primarily a coffee shop? No.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild to think about.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and it's like crazy too. Like, I love the way Elliot's doing it now too, where like they don't have food every day of the week, but on Saturdays they literally today they posted bacon and eggs.
Pancakes, I think.
Bacon and pancakes, and they literally just made a frick ton of bacon and pancakes, and then they just served it until it was sold out.
That's so fun.
But yeah, also they're a super Instagram-centered coffee shop, so they have that benefit as well, where I don't think that any coffee shop in Birmingham is active enough on Instagram to be like, oh, this Saturday, this is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, June does a pretty good job with like vintage markets and different
collabs,
events like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think if you're an establishment and it's like one trick pony, like it's a dive bar, they only have beer or whatever.
Yeah,
it's not going to get as many people in the door and like different types of people. And that's what it's all about, like bringing people together. But with Juniper, it's like, oh, I don't drink, but I'll get some food.
Yeah.
If you get a cocktail, like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I've never been to Juniper. I've seen it, but
it's cool.
I'm sure
it kind of feels like you're going into the Wizard of Oz.
Abby was saying that they went somewhere. Dude, where were they? They were in Memphis or some city. I don't know. But they said that they had the place that was very similar to Juniper, but they had they had 16 NA options, like non-alcoholic, like mocktails.
Yeah.
And because they were like, hey, not everybody that shows up is into that tonight, but we still want them to have a space. I feel like that's really cool. That's a really cool idea. Cool. They also at Juniper, they made their mocktails also part of happy hour. So the other night when
Cool.
Gracie and Abby went, they both got mocktails just because they
cool.
were like, I don't really know if I'm feeling
Nice.
alky right now. So,
Yep.
Makes sense. to me.
anyways, yeah. But to your point, though, there is the reason that we care about this so much is because it's all about bringing people together. We love that aspect of it. One thing that Lane does that's awesome, and I'm going to plug him here, is he does little pop up like things like wine bars at his house. I think it's like one of the coolest things that happens. I've never been to one because he keeps scheduling them on
I was gonna say
days where I have like
my beef is that he texts me the
Year-out
day
plans.
before
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
the morning of,
It
and
is
I'm like,
invite only.
I want to come, but I like this is the day of, and I have something already.
yeah.
It's so funny.
If you'll give me like 5 days notice, I can
like,
probably
yeah.
go.
I would love to be there. I'm currently in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm like, I want to go to this so badly, but it's like my brother-in-law's birthday
Hey,
or
but
something.
we're also thinking we have something in the oven right now. We're trying to figure out a way to do a little espresso pop up.
Little warm up.
A little
Yeah.
WOM sponsored
so-
pop up thing. But
as long as it's a come as you like, come and go whenever.
yeah.
That's what makes people just really easy.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. That's why we haven't done many like dinner parties because dinner,
Right.
it's like
Seems
Has
you
sort
to-
of
guys
seated.
like, yeah.
The
we don't
food
have
will
much
be
seating.
warm and ready at 6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
I think it'd be kind of nice to just have like a pop in, hang, pop out, leave kind of
Fun.
vibe.
easy, and it's a really easy way to get like people that we're not super close with to invite
Yeah.
them in as an event
Mhm.
rather than like when like you meet someone, you're like, this guy's super rad. Like we'll talk about Will
Yeah,
the
Russell.
barista. Yeah, I met him like last week, and I was kind of like, oh, it's nice to see him again. I don't think I would, now that I have his number, I don't think I'd be like, hey, do you want to come over to my house?
Sure.
We got to meet in a middle ground
Like another
area.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to grab coffee, and that's why these places exist.
Yeah.
And so with Otis's Public House, and sorry if the listeners, if you weren't invited, sorry about that.
Otis's public house.
But it's like, it's hard for us to make a lot of food for a lot of people. And especially, it's like, hey, if I invite you, are you actually going to show up? Because we have
Yeah.
a steak for you.
Right.
But
Sure.
we just have we print out a menu. I make like 5 or 7 drinks. And so if you want a Mai Tai or, different types of cocktails, I can make it super easy, batch it, go crazy. If you want a non-alcoholic one, go crazy.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, it's fun.
Mm.
Some
Please,
people,
please don't stop inviting us. We'll come eventually. I promise.
I don't know. It's always funny. Some people thought we were taking over a bar. The first time we
Oh.
did it, they thought we were bartenders, and I think Steven, he was also like, you should charge people.
Yeah.
I was like, my drinks are not that good. That's like $15, please.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think it's funny the bar that won Bar of the Year in New York. It's called Double Chicken Please or More Fried Chicken
Yeah,
Please or
yeah.
something. You have 2 rooms and it's impossible to get a reservation in the second room where they actually make you the drinks. But the first room, in order to get a reservation, you have to do like a month in advance. You get a reservation, you show up. It's literally they only serve. I was talking to someone who went the other day. They serve batch cocktails out of a tap.
wow.
Whoa.
So you show up and you pay like $25 for a batch cocktail, like essentially punch,
Yeah.
like a
That's
punch bowl.
crazy.
It's wild.
There's been a few times where I'm like, we need a batch cocktail because I'm sweating over here making drinks for everybody. So the last time I bought, I think 45 Keystone Lights, and we just iced them down. It's like, hey, because a lot of my cocktails are like they're like double strained. There's a garnish. It's
All the things.
a whole thing, and so it's like. Sometimes some people just need to sip on a beer while they,
Right.
while they wait for the cocktail. but,
Right.
That's funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, well, like again, I'm gonna end it here because we've been going hour 48, but yeah, the only reason we talk about all this stuff and think about it is because all it's for is just bringing people together. One of the reasons we do WOM is because we think that when you get together with people in postgrad or you run into people like in postgrad or just like adult life, whatever you want to call the after college experience wherever you're at.
Adulthood.
It's super interesting how unintentional and how aloof people can be because of phones, because of responsibilities, because of a million different things. But the fact that you actually get to sit down with like one person, two people, like five people, however long, and you just get like 2 hours of intentional conversation is kind of rare. So we also do this to do this. And I also think that another thing we talk about all the time is one of the main reasons we do this is because we just want to do something, because a lot of people talk a lot about doing things and they never do it. We know that we have a long way to go to perfection. We'll get there. I think when we're 45, if we're still doing word of mouth, we'll perfect it then.
We'll be perfect.
But until then, we're not. It's too early to perfect.
Right.
We have to have a long.
You got to put in your 10,000 hours.
That's right, 10,000 hours.
What are we at now? We're at 200 hours.
Honestly, kind of insane to think about that.
It actually kind of is like true. This is episode 28, and our episodes
this one's 29.
29, yeah, 29, and we average at least an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
a lot of yapping.
We've done
that's a lot of
40
yapping.
hours.
Jeez.
Probably of recording.
Yeah.
Like 40. That's crazy. That's like
a lot of hours.
Almost 2 days worth of just straight up yapping.
Some yaps.
Anyways, guys,
Lane,
thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, Lane. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Mwah. Just know that his only plug today is Otis's Public House. If you want to get invited, you kind of have to meet him and
become
schmooze
friends with
him,
him.
pay him.
Meet me at Railroad
often.
Park. I live pretty close.
He's one of the 20,000 people that live around Railroad Park downtown.
If you see a guy on an e-bike around Railroad Park, go talk to him.
Blowing red lights.
Lane.
Especially if he's shirtless and screams a lot, and he's one of the people that kind of like he sleeps outside around a lot. That's probably you should go chat to him.
That's actually Lane.
I hope it's not me.
He's gonna ask you for money. Give it to him. Lane needs some money.
Yeah,
to help
make all these
fund
cocktails.
Otis Public House.
Yeah,
no,
whiskey ain't cheap.
No, it's a great having you on.
Of course, bro.
And
thanks for
listening to episode 29 of Word of Mouth. We really enjoy it. We enjoy talking. We enjoy yapping. Enjoy being in the living room on a Saturday afternoon on September 14th.
Shout out to my wife.
That's the wrong one.
I'm trying to think.
There it is. Shut up, Paxton. You brought her up earlier. I forgot. Dadgummit. I brought up Gracie a lot too, and you brought up Claire.
Shout out to the.
We got to do the wife thing.
Shout out to Redemptive. You guys are rad.
Yeah, Redemptive Cycles. That's actually something we should definitely rep them more. We should talk to them. I bet they'd be on.
Yeah, we should get D.
D's a legend. Redemptive Cycles. If you need a bike in Birmingham, go to Redemptive. They're actually affordable. If you go anywhere else, people are stealing money from you, literally.
Sorry, Kahaba Cycles. Bob's Bikes. No hate.
Yeah, okay. Well, Lane just actually said the names of the businesses.
They have a different demographic.
Yeah.
If you're a rich 50-year-old, you should go there.
They're serving the Mountain Brook and Homewood crowd.
Well, they're doing new bikes.
Yeah.
Redemptive is doing almost only used, which is really
And
cool.
if you buy one from them, you get free servicing for a year, I think.
That's
just crazy.
I think it's like 3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
That
Okay.
bike. Yeah, so if anything happens, then
you just buy a bike and then you bring 7 other bikes to them. You're like, is that for you, 3 months?
Yeah.
Big solid. All right, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Cheerio then. Have a great Saturday afternoon. Or I guess Friday. Welcome to the Secret segment of the podcast where we only talk about secret things that you only have to be here to hear. Only those who are here can listen to the secret segment.
When I said bye, I lied.
Yeah.
whoa.
What if we had like a cryptic message saying like an acronym of like, if you wait, you'll hear some secrets. Well, we'd have to make a script.
Well, yeah, we will tell the name of the girl at that 4X.
Oh, yeah.
X4.
I wish I knew her name. I really feel bad for talking about that. I honestly think about this and I'm like, man, one day, like 10 years from now, for some reason, if somebody like really needs to get me in trouble, they could just listen to this podcast and be like, this guy's kind of a jerk sometimes.
No, man, you grow as a person over time and you make mistakes and everyone's human and that's okay.
Wow.
Wow.
I feel like we should actually end the episode on that.
That's a good one. No sports segment?
No sports segment today, sadly. I literally don't know anything that's going on. Well, because we talked about the Alabama game.
Yeah.
I don't know any fun things that are going on in sports right now, truly. Like,
Football's getting concussions.
Your favorite soccer team is under investigation.
Yeah, they've been under investigation for like 50 years, though. My favorite soccer team is a team called Manchester City that is owned by Saudi Arabian oil money company, and they've been doing illegal things forever, and for some reason, they never get caught. All these smaller teams keep getting caught all the time for really stupid things, like that don't matter. That's right. The world is biased towards a color, and that color is green.
The almighty dollar.
Capitalism. Okay. Let me ask you this. What is a city in America you've been to that's your least favorite city?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, California.
St. Louis sucks.
St. Louis sucks. I've heard great things about St. Louis.
Dude, St. Louis is whack. I haven't really spent that much time. I've spent a decent time in LA. It is so sad how bad that city is. And I think I argued with someone from LA at Joshua Tree like 2 years ago. It's just really.
What makes it terrible? I've never been.
Oh, okay. Well, just how the people there are just pretty rude. So much congestion, and it's inconsistent traffic. So with Atlanta, you get traffic.
5 o'clock traffic.
5 o'clock traffic. So you would be 1 p.m. on a Saturday or Tuesday, whatever. You're still getting bumper to bumper traffic, and it is sad that there's not other good, reliable sources of transportation. I think it's getting better, but
yeah, apparently they're trying to redo the entire system before the Olympics. And the Olympics working. We did talk about this on the podcast once. The entire Olympics working is dependent on them finishing that.
Jeez.
Which is insane. Probably not going to happen.
It's like if you go to San Diego, if you go to San Francisco, even Denver, it's like it is just so much better.
Yeah.
And then I even went to Silver Lake because that's the Brooklyn area, mid. I'm like, what are we doing here? So
yeah, that's pretty tough.
That got me pretty angry.
It is funny. A lot of people really romanticize LA and really love it.
Yeah. I'm sure that if you're super rich and really was doing well in Hollywood, that there'd be days where you'd be like, this city is electric. Yeah. But the majority of days you would still be like, oh my gosh. It's funny to me, the only people that stay there move to a private community that no one can come into.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do we even... Yeah. I don't know what the name of the actual neighborhood
it is. Like,
do you know? Or is Calabasas literally the locked neighborhood?
It's a part of... Yeah, it's again.
Huh. It's also like an hour from actual LA, right?
Yeah, it's like Malibu.
Yeah.
LA is like the
silly.
capital of car culture.
Huh.
It's the hub.
I think it's
because
interesting.
of car-centric infrastructure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, as a car guy, if you could outlaw cars right now, force people to use bikes, would you do it?
No. It's all about different modes of transportation.
If you could legalize I don't know how to say this. If you could federally legalize the requirement for every single road in America, besides interstates, to have a certified blocked off bike lane, would you do it?
I think separated bike lanes are really nice.
I think they should have their own road system in cities. I think they should, there should be, literally, what's the joke? What's the city that gets made fun of all the time? Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Where you get hit by bikes because you think it's like a walkway, but it's not.
Yeah.
I think there should genuinely be, bike roads.
Yeah.
There should be less than car roads, but, there should be a trail system, an intricate trail system through every single city in America. Yeah. I don't know why there's not. I don't understand why there's only one in Birmingham, and it's not even that good.
Well, the real answer is they've tried, but there's the different parts of the city, they don't like to talk to each other very much. Like Homewood, they could do a really good separated bike lane, but they don't like to communicate well. They don't really like to communicate very well with other parts. And so even if you look at the Rotary Trail, you're like, this still is so mid.
Mm-hmm.
Because the trail, there's not that many great things to do while on the trail. You get Ghost Train or you get a few other decent spots, but it's a lot of mechanic shops. It's just because it was probably a rail to trail, or it's just easy to buy that land. But there's not an easy way to go up the mountain from downtown to Homewood or, around Mountain Brook. And so you got to be creative about it.
Well, here's our the point of this episode is the Jefferson County Board of Transportation, Department of Transportation, the Jeffco DOT. Please listen to this podcast and make better bike lanes. And everywhere in America. There you go.
Shout out to Orchestra Partners for working on stuff like the Rotary Trail.
Is that they did it in Birmingham?
Yeah, they're trying to develop a trail system that goes from Red Mountain to Ruffner Mountain.
Ooh, that would be sweet. Yeah. Love that for me.
They're cool.
Cheerio to those guys. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We love you. Lane Mitchell, everybody. Give him a bow.
Woo! Thank you. Always a pleasure.